Thank you so much. Since I've been sitting here this morning and I was just talking to someone about this, a lot of my questions have been answered. And more than that, it seems like it's morphed from question to question as parts of them have been answered.
Yes.
I definitely feel as if I understand when you say that you can't go back, because I feel like since I've become more aware, I seem to be stirring up more contrast than I would like.
Well, we don't think you're stirring more up, but you are more aware of where you stand in relationship to it.
Okay.
In other words, the more you expand, the greater that tension is. So it's time to let go and allow yourself to be what life has caused you to be. That's really what we hear you saying.
Yes, I definitely feel that. One of the questions that was in my mind is I definitely have a hard time letting go of...
Listen to your words. Just to make... Not just I have a hard time. I definitely have a hard time letting go. Well, that's because you definitely practice having a hard time letting go. In other words, those words, that's the thing we're talking about. That's practicing a vibration of resistance. So just say it a little softer. In the past, I have had some trouble letting go, but not so much now. That's softer, isn't it?
Yes.
Letting go isn't as hard as one might think it is. That's softer still.
Yes.
Taking my attention away from a subject lets go of it. That seems simple. I don't know why I've definitely had such a hard time letting go when it's really a simpler thing. I think I've been making it out to be more than it really needed to be. I think it may have been because I didn't understand it, but now I'm understanding it more clearly. Seems simpler now. Maybe I won't have as much trouble now. That's just softer. See, just training yourself thought by thought, just picking a better feeling approach to it until in time you will say and really mean, it doesn't feel so hard now. It doesn't feel hard to let go. We interrupted a thought for you deliberately. Come back to it if you want to. What was that thing that you used to have trouble letting go of?
Now that thought is gone and it's changed again. I'm in a relationship with someone. I heard you say one time on one of your videos that you could be in the most perfect relationship with anyone in the world if you are focused on the best things, the best qualities, the qualities that make you feel joy. And
this comes around to what we were saying earlier, that if you've trained yourself into alignment with who you really are, so that you are seeing the world, whatever you are choosing to be your object of attention, through this powerful perspective of source, then in that knowing of the value that you've trained yourself to look for, you would look for and find value in whatever is your object of attention. And with that kind of alignment, people would just show the best of themselves to you. You see?
yes,
And
I do.
And that's really, you've helped us say it better than we've ever said it before. That's really what we're talking about this inside job of tuning yourself, tuning your point of attraction to elicit what you mean to elicit. In other words, the other thing, did you hear that? Never been said more clearly. The other point of view is, expect others to just be great, and then I'll sift through the mass and find the great ones and drag them home with me. It's tedious. Where if I tune my point of attraction so that only what pleases me is coming to me, and it must come to me, much simpler way of going about creation, becoming a cooperative component to the aspects of life that you've already carved out as your preferences.
I think that has become so much more clear to me, because part of what I was thinking was I want to love unconditionally. And even that, in the way I was thinking, seemed like effort.
Because the object of your attention was not behaving in a lovable way.
Yes.
So the thing that was off is, I want to love unconditionally, is a little off from I want to be unconditional love. So, and I want it so much that I will tune myself to it over there, flower. I will tune myself to it over there, bird. I will tune myself to it over there, cat. I will tune myself to it over there, beautiful other person, lover. I must not be tuned yet. I will tune myself to it over there, over there, over there. I will tune myself to it in the easy way. In other words, I will find easy things to love until I really get the hang of loving. And then I will stand in my learned realignment to who I am, and I will offer it as my vibrational offering, and law of attraction can only return its equivalent to me.
Yes. So in that way, my lover is the same as the email.
But your lover is multifaceted, because your lover, who may be problematic, is also solution-matic. Don't write that down. It's not really a word. In other words, as the problem is queuing up, so is the solution queuing up. And as you become more solution oriented on the things that are really easy, now you're looking for solution, you're looking for satisfaction. Today, no matter where I'm going and no matter what I'm doing and no matter who I'm doing it with, it is my dominant intent to look for what I'm wanting to see. I've trained myself to see it. So then what happens? Have you ever had the experience where someone was speaking a very deliberate slight to you, and it went right over your head? And we say, good for you. Good for you. You were so tuned to love, and so tuned to your confidence, and so tuned to your value, and so tuned to who you really are, that even though someone took a direct hit at you, the bullet missed you completely, because you were vibrationally out of sync with their comments. You were in sync with well-being. And so it's like that. You just tune yourself to it. Now, it would be easier for all of you if we were visiting with you before you had established any relationships with anyone, because it would be easier for you to tune yourself to the frequency of who you are, and then to go out into the physical experience and from your place of aligned attraction, then attract the best of all of them. But you didn't do that. And why is it that that's not the way it was set up? In other words, if you're source energy and you're the creator of your own reality, and you come forth from the energy of that which you call God, why wouldn't you set it up like that? And the answer is because you saw from that non-physical, God-like perspective the intrinsic value of the contrast that is inherent in every situation. So you didn't say, I'll go forth into a feathered nest and only show me wonderful things and I'll just observe them and feel good about them. You said, I'll go forth into a sea of contrast, and out of it I will carve my preferences, and once I have chosen my preferences, then I will be true to myself. Then I will be true to my principles that I've carved out. I will be true to my alignment. Regardless of whatever else is going on, I'll be true to who I've become. And when you're true to who you've become, you love them all. Doesn't mean you want to live with them all, but you're not pushing against any of them. You are offering love. But you're not just an offerer of love. Now here, listen to this. You're not just someone who is standing now in your vortex offering love, although that's all we would ever ask any of you to be. You are also someone standing in your vortex with all of the things you've carved out of life. So you know how you want your lover to look. You know how you want your lover to love. You know how you want your lover to feel in terms of prosperity, in terms of lifestyle. In other words, you can't live in this world without carving out the things that matter to you. So we're not teaching you how to settle. This is unconditional love stuff isn't saying to you, just get into love and you won't even notice the creepy person you're living with. That's not what this unconditional love is about, because it's not possible for you to get into your vortex and not find yourself there with the perfection that you've put there piece by piece by piece by piece by piece. So then you say, and this is really where this question began, okay, Abraham, I sort of kind of get that. I have constructed a lover from all of the random parts of relationships that I've been living. Is that right? Yes. In other words, when they lied, I put a truthful one. When they cheated, I put someone true to me. When they weren't funny, I put someone funny. When they couldn't pay for dinner, I put someone there that could pay for dinner. In other words, when they were sloppy, I put a neat one there. In other words, I've carved out the perfect partner to move through life experience with, and it's a vibrational reality, not a reality. How do I now not notice what's missing over there? And we say, well, if it's missing over there, then don't look over there. Don't let yourself spend a lot of time looking in places, because looking at what you don't want tunes your vibration to what you don't want. Isn't that important to know? In other words, how are you going to become a match to what you've put into your vortex? You have to not focus in opposition to it. And that's why people are so often trying to reform their lovers. Your story goes sort of like this. You know, I've created a much better version of you over here, but you make it impossible for me to focus over there because you're over here being so bad. Can't you just clean things up a little bit so it's easier for me to like you? Do you have to make it so definitely hard to... well, we're having a lot of fun at all of your expense. But we want you to understand that you do have the ability to focus better than you're doing. So what you do, if something doesn't please you, you look the other way. If someone's misbehaving by your standards, you look the other way. You don't try to wrestle them to the ground and get them to change their behavior, because that trains your vibration away from what you've already become. You see how it works? So when someone is battling with you, we're exaggerating that a bit. When someone's battling with you, what you want to say to them is, you win. Because I'm not going to battle, because I've discovered I can't win any battle. Because the harder I push against what I do not want, the more vibrationally engulfed in what I do not want I become. And what I want's over here, an entirely different vibration. An entirely different vibration. I can't focus upon the problem and the solution at the same time. And honey, you're the problem. So how's it playing out in the real world? In other words, you know what the people who live with you really want from you? They want you to go away and leave them alone. Most of them do. They don't want to battle over the issue. Because don't you all feel that way? When someone's got a problem with your lawn ornaments, or if someone has a problem with the car you drive, or if someone has a problem with your opinion, don't you just want them to go away? In other words, and that's because innately you understand that the more you focus upon what is not wanted, the further from what is wanted you become. It's just really that simple. So now bring us back to the real world, and we'll walk through it step by step with you, with some real solutions that are doable, that are law-based, but law-based but practical. That's the thing that we're wanting to give you. In other words, we know if we could zap you with a vortex stick, we wouldn't, because then you wouldn't put all that good stuff in the vortex. In other words, and there is no assertion. We would not demand that you be in the vortex. We just stand in there where you want to be, and and try to offer you as many ways of looking at life as we can until you find your way in there too. So talk to us about